Hello there. Will Prime Minister Liz Truss arrive for the first meeting of the European political community? Well, they obviously still have many concerns. But according to information from the German newspaper Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, they intensively discussed whether to take part in the first meeting of the European Political Community or EPG in Prague. While the State Department is already preparing travel details, right down to the question of which of the four working groups the Prime Minister should participate in, the political opportunities and risks in Liz Truss' immediate environment are being weighed up. The working hypothesis is she will go, but maybe it won't work either. That's what the government said on Thursday. And a decision is expected on Friday, unfortunately after I'm filming this, but I'll keep you informed. After Truss expressed her disapproval before taking office, she recently showed interest. Proponents of participation see the opportunity to open a new chapter with the EU after the difficult Johnson years. Many are unhappy that relations have deteriorated so much since Brexit and see the need to work more closely together, especially in the areas of security and energy. But the list of concerns is long. First, there is the fact that the EPG is an idea of French President Emmanuel Macron, who has become a symbol of a supposedly anti-London policy in the Conservative government. Above all, Truss is said to fear the reaction of EU critics in her own ranks. There it is argued that one did not leave the EU to join the next club. An important prerequisite for Truss is therefore that the EPG does not become an EU-dominated event. There must be a balance between the bloc of EU countries and the non-members. The project should also be not secretarized. New institutions are undesirable. Another worry has disappeared since Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky pledged without him, British participation would be unthinkable, they say. And many non-EU participants fear that the EPG will become a car park where those interested in joining will be permanently parked. In London too, this is seen as a central motive of the French government, which has traditionally opposed expansion. The decision is also so difficult because the EU Commission has recently been perceived as niggly and narrow-minded there. Reference is made to their refusal to discuss energy policy with London in the winter. An uncoordinated approach, for example in the case of gas price interventions, could lead to harmful competition and possibly even to avoidable power outages, they say. In London there's frustration that the EU Commission is basing its entire policy on the dispute over the Northern Ireland Protocol. The first meeting of the EPG will take place in Prague on October 6th, ahead of an informal European Council. All European countries are invited, that's a total of 44, with one exception, and that's Belarus. This is what the EU ambassadors decided by consensus on Wednesday. The invitation to London was never disputed, even if the British media tried to give that impression. Macron had advocated involving London from the start. According to the Council, Prague is a good opportunity to get to know Truss. Her participation is also useful because the situation in Ukraine and the vote on Russia will be the focus of the deliberations. Brussels recognizes that there is close and trusting cooperation with London on this issue. This was underlined by a joint statement with which Commission President von der Leyen and Truss reacted on Wednesday to the partial mobilization audit in Russia. Both had met in New York on the fringes of the UN General Assembly. According to diplomats, no final statement is being prepared for the EPG meeting. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.